Hey guys, it's Uncle Adam coming back to you. I've started a new feature on the channel where we're going to take a look at one certain fighter: bare knuckle boxer, bare knuckle fighter, Muay Thai fighter, dirty boxer. This time, we're looking at a bare knuckle fighting championship fighter, a champion, 185-pound light heavyweight champion, if you will, Josh Dyer. Now, why am I doing this? There's several reasons I'm doing this. The first reason is I'm still fairly new to this combat sport, to bare knuckle fighting, to Muay Thai, to dirty boxing. And while I know a lot of the guys from seeing them elsewhere back in the day, or at least some of them, I don't know all of them, and I haven't kept up with them because, like I've said before, the UFC got boring to me, and I pretty much stopped watching. Then I ran into this stuff. I ran into Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship, for example, and saw some of the names I was familiar with. I thought, I've got to start watching this, and I've been watching it for the past 5 months religiously. Well, as much as I've been watching, that didn't help me as much as I wanted it to. Meaning, when I saw these guys fight, I couldn't really reflect back on past fights. I couldn't talk about what they've done compared to what they're doing in the fight I'm currently watching, right? So somebody on Reddit, shout out to you, my friend, on Reddit, told me that I should go back and watch old fights, which I had been doing, but I've been doing them in order, bare knuckle boxing 1, bare knuckle fighting championship 1, 2, 3, 4, what have you. And that was cool, and I liked it, and I enjoyed it, and you can see some of the videos here on the YouTube. But this gentleman on Reddit told me that I should concentrate on the champions, like Josh Dyer. That's who he suggested I start with. Maybe that's his favorite. I'm not sure why he suggested Josh, except he has a big fight coming up in November against another certain fighter that I will take a look at very soon in this same way. But let's not mince any more words. Let's get down to it, taking a look at Josh Dyer's Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship, BKFC's career. It started off BKFC number 12. He took on Jared Warren. Now, Warren was a little bit more experienced here in bare knuckle fighting. And like I said, this was Dyer's first fight in BKFC. But he walked out there as confident as he could be. He just walked up to Warren all fight long. I mean, this dude looked like he stepped out of Jason Voorhees movie. He just took that hockey mask off, revealed himself as Josh Dyer, and kept coming, just like Mr. Voorhees does. There was no stopping Dyer here. Now, Warren's very experienced, and he did get some shots in, but Dyer's pure strength and will and his walking onward, charging like a bull. Now, we've talked about guys who walk in like a zombie, right? They're just coming in. Nah. That's not what Josh Dyer is doing. Josh Dyer is literally coming in like charging, literally like you see a bull scratching his foot, scratching his back hoof into the dirt. And that sucker comes storming in, right? Whoo, straight in at you, just like that. Put your 3D glasses on and I'll blow you away. That's what Josh Dyer did here. He just came in and blew Warren out of his shorts, basically. And like I said, it was his pure strength, his pure will, and had him pounding Warren into submission. Dyer's only weakness here was that he punched himself out a little bit here. Not completely, he got it back. But in between rounds, there was some time this son of a bitch was coming on so hard, he got a little tired, and his punches didn't have as much oomph behind him, but it didn't last long. Dyer knocked Warren down numerous times. Finally, the ref steps in and said, no, I got to stop this. I have to stop this. Warren isn't defending himself. He is beaten. He is downtrodden. He is done, brother. You know what I'm saying? The fight was over in round 3. Warren was just getting pummeled up against the ropes, not defending himself. Dyer wins this by TKO in his debut fight. Instantly, BKFC's impressed with him. I mean, how you're impressed with this guy before he fights in your ring, right? Because he's awesome. But here, he came in, took control, literally charged forward, and took his opponent, Warren, out and down in the 3rd round out of 5. Big, impressive win. And fight number 1 for Josh Dyer. We're going to look at every fight of his as we go along. Now, as we go into fight number 2 in Josh Dyer's BKFC career, we have to ask ourselves, did they give him a little too much in fight number 2? I mean, my God, he was taking on Lorenzo Hunt. Lorenzo Hunt, let me tell you, this guy's no joke. I mean, he'll kill a bitch. He comes in here just looking like the beast that he is and made the awfully impressive Dyer look a little bit softer. I hate saying that because we're here to talk about Josh Dyer. We're here to put him over, if you will, because he deserves to be put over, the champion that he is today. But here, let me tell you something, man. Hunt just pummeled him, landing shots, including a huge right to the chin at the start of the fight that Dyer somehow ate. He ate it, but he rubbed it out and he looked at Hunt like, oh dear God, I better be careful of this guy. And now you see Dyer still hasn't completely developed yet. And that's no insult. Dyer won his first fight just by pure skill, strength, and determination. That wasn't enough here because Lorenzo Hunt has that in spades as well. And he showed it here. Dyer went down for an 8 count in round 2. And he starts having issues with his contact lenses. Now, I don't know what's going on here. I don't want to knock a fighter. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about when it comes to how you fight and why you do things the way you do them or anything like that. But I certainly don't understand why anybody's wearing contacts in a fight. That's not me putting Josh Dyer down. Oh, God forbid. Never going to do that. I'm just questioning. Someone help me understand why you would wear contacts in a fight. But he started having some issues with that at this point. In round 2, also saw Dyer land a solid hook, but most of that round saw Hunt being the aggressor once again, with Dyer trying to figure out what to do. Now, I'm not saying he was lost and didn't know how to fight. I'm saying you could see Josh begin to understand that his style, his method, his ways here wasn't going to work against Lorenzo Hunt. And you could sort of see his mind scrambling a little bit. All right, because Hunt is pretty much dominating. In round 3, he knocks Dyer down 2 more times. So Dyer's been on the mat several times here. And he started to keep his distance from him. But then again, so did Hunt. It's like Hunt didn't go on to Hunt, if you will. He was winning. Maybe he just realized he was winning, but he sort of backed off a little bit, in round 3. And it was a little bit strange, honestly. Another thing that was strange, again, was in round 3, Dyer actually kind of asks for a timeout. He asks the refs, can I put my contact lens in? And the ref allows him to do this, which was just weird. And again, it's not insulting Dyer in any way, but you get a contact lens timeout. He does. He gives him a couple seconds to go over to his corner. I didn't see him put the lens in. I guess he did. I was watching. I saw the little lens holder and take the cap off and stuff. I didn't see him put a lens in, but I guess he did. And the fight then resumes. But it pretty much ended shortly after that, and we're in the 4th round. Hunt has Dyer literally retreating now, literally running away. At one point, he literally runs towards the opposite ropes. Incredible. I mean, Hunt has dominated all 4 rounds here with some excuse for Dyer in his messed up contact lenses in some way. I'm going to have to look up an interview. Maybe some of you might know. Start commenting on Uncle Adam's stuff, man. Talk to your favorite uncle here and give me some information I don't have, and it's something we can grow and learn more about together, right? Isn't that what you do for your favorite uncle? I would hope so. But round 5, that's right. This got to round 5. Hunt keeps pressing toward with powerful swings, all landing on Dyer. Dyer kept pointing to his left eye. He's like, keeps pointing to it. Like, what the hell's going on here? There's something with these lenses. Finally tells the ref he can't continue. He can't see. Now, if you can't see in a fight, whether it be blood or bad contacts or no contacts or full contact from someone like Hunt, whatever the reason might be, you're not going to win that fight. The fight is stopped. Winner by TKO is Lorenzo Hunt. Now, the interesting point here is we had Dyer come in like a bull of the woods, daddy, and win that first fight. No problem. The second fight, he was pretty much bullied. I mean, he's still tough. He's still a badass, but the badass ran into a bigger badass and had problems. Combine that with whatever issue he had with his contact lenses, just made it worse. So he loses his second fight in BKFC. But we're going to see going forward, that didn't hold him down. That didn't spoil BKFC's opinion of him. And that's a good thing because he used this loss as an opportunity for growth. He took the L and made it stand for learning. And that's cornball. I know that, but what are uncles for? We're going to take a look at the next fight. The third fight of Josh Dyer was May 13th, 2022. It was BKFC Fight Night in Omaha. And this was the story of a different fighter. Now, we can remember in that first fight, he was a bull of the woods, just took charge and took over, defeated Warren. In the second fight, he was controlled by Hunt pretty handedly. In the meantime, between that second and third fight, there is no doubt Josh Dyer took his training more serious than he ever has. And I'm not saying he didn't take it serious in the past, but it was clear he realized he had to learn, he had to become, he had to mold himself into a different type of fighter. And he did that. His footwork was completely different. His style was completely different. He was more of a scientific boxer, if you will. Not complete. He's still a powerhouse, right? But he definitely took the science of this more serious than he had yet. And he gets in there against Dakota Cochran. Dakota Cochran, very good reputation, very good fighter. I thought this would have been a better fight than it was, but because of the training Josh Dyer went through and because of all that he learned, right, he controlled this. He swarmed Cochran and knocked him down pretty quickly. Cochran got back up, but again, seconds after getting back up, he's completely smothered like a blanket, like a net, if you will, by Dyer. And he went down a second time. This time he didn't get back up. Winner by knockout in the very first round here was Josh Dyer. Now, like I said, the thing we have to realize here, folks, is that the first fighter, he's just this young rookie winning by power and will. It's strength, right? The second fight, maybe bit off a little more than he could chew. BKFC gave him too much of a heaping plate. He loses pretty badly. Third fight, he comes in, re-energized, motivated, and knocks a fighter like Dakota Cochran out in the first round. So we see a guy who was on the peak, went down into a little valley, and just jumped right back up to the top with this big win. And I think we're headed in the right direction now for sure. We're on our way to look at his next fight. The next fight for Josh Dyer was BKFC 29 on September 10th, 2022 against Joe Riggs. Now, when I saw this, I had to go back into history and look these fights up. But when I saw this, let me tell you something, I was excited. I remember Joe Riggs from back in the UFC days, back in, I believe it was the WEC days. He was a beast. He was a monster. He was the kind of guy that I just loved to watch fight. I mean, I was not shocked to see him come into bare knuckle, because this guy has it in him to take the gloves off against anybody, including Josh Dyer. And I wanted to see this so bad. And why do we keep saying that I wanted to see it? Didn't we see it? Yes, we did see it somewhat. Each man knocked the other down with massive shots at the beginning of this fight. It was just tit for tat. Dyer got knocked down first, and not long after that, Riggs is on his ass. So both of these guys are in each other's face, knocking each other down, trying to prove who the bigger and the better man was. But just at the end of round one, if you didn't see this, you're thinking I'm going to say some massive knockout happened or something. Not really. Just at the end of round one, okay, here comes Riggs. Here comes Dyer at the same time, right? Like two rams. And what happens when two rams come at each other, right? They bust horns against each other, right? That's what happened here. Josh Dyer's face went top of his head really, went into the face of Riggs. Hard. And I mean, he was down. He was pretty much out. They could have counted him out, but they realized it was a headbutt. It was an unintentional headbutt. Josh Dyer did not try to headbutt him. They just came in at the same time. Head to face, bam, Riggs is down, Riggs is out. They get him up, he's spitting blood numerous times. He's spitting blood out of his mouth. I'm telling you, these screenshots I got don't do it justice. You got to find a video of this. And they called an end to the fight. It wasn't intentional, so there was no disqualification. It was only 2 rounds, so there wasn't enough rounds completed to make a decision from the judges to see who would win. So this is a no contest, a fight that I was so looking forward, and I think it could have been a masterpiece. I think it could have been one of the best fights in BKFC history. I do, but of course I am a very biased fan of Joe Riggs, and I'm liking Dyer as well. So unfortunately, that's what we got here. We got a no contest. But man, what could have been? Next up for Josh Dyer was BKFC 47 from July 14th, 2023. It was a rematch of his very first fight against Jared Warren. Interesting that they're going to run this back. Not only are they running it back, this is for the interim light heavyweight championship. So BKFC looking for a light heavyweight champion, it not being defended right now, nobody owning that title. Somebody must have owned it at this time and been on injury, been out for some reason that they couldn't fight. So they're going to put this title on an interim champion, and they're going to decide that champion by pitting Dyer and Warren against each other again. Now, this is a very interesting fight. And you know what Dyer does. Even though he's learned, like I said, to be a much better and more calculated fighter, why would you change much against Warren when you beat him charging forward like in the past, right? Just do it again. Be that bull in the china shop. You know, I've said before how a fighter keeps going forward, but no one literally does it. No one charges the way Dyer does, and he goes back. He goes back into his old bag of tricks and pulls it out again, thinking, I'm going to take Warren down like this again. But Warren responded a little better here, especially with uppercuts. So Josh would run in, Warren would step back and get a bunch of uppercuts in, scoring significant points. Now, I'm not saying Warren dominated like Hunt did a couple fights ago, but Warren definitely performed better than he did the first fight and looked pretty good. Hard to say who won round one. After the bell of round two, though, Dyer unintentionally hit Warren in the back of the head. I mean, I'm beginning to think at this point, Dyer just has some shit luck. I mean, the bell rings, the ref calls for them to stop at the end of the round, and, you know, as they're punching each other, Dyer just, and I believe it was accidentally, comes down onto the back of the head of his opponent, Warren, and the ref tells him, I have to take a point. I don't believe you did it on purpose or I'd disqualify you, but I have to take a point, and I have to give Warren 5 minutes to recover. Warren takes every second of those 5 minutes and can't recover, cannot continue, talks to the doctor. Doctor agrees it must be stopped. But again, this fight has been so short. Nobody did anything on purpose. He did lose a point, but they're not going to the judges because the fight hasn't gone on long enough. Yes, this is sounding familiar, much like the unintentional headbutt. Here we had an unintentional hit to the back of the head. So 2 fights in a row. This one for the interim light heavyweight championship is a no contest. Neither man wins, neither man loses. There is still no light heavyweight 185-pound champion. 2 no contests in a row. Now, what this proves to me? This proves to me that Dyer has a lot of discipline. He made some mistakes, 2 in a row. Neither one was intentional, but man, this could have got a normal person down. This could have taken a normal person out of it. But you're going to see here as we continue to talk about Dyer's fights, that did not happen to him. He charged ahead, he kept going, and didn't allow these 2 unfortunate fights, 2 in a row, damn it, to hold him back. That is impressive. That is a sign of a lot of heavy discipline in a human being. Continuing with Josh Dyer's career in BKFC, it went on at BKFC 63 on August 3rd, 2024, as he took on William Albrecht. Now, this isn't much to talk about. Not because it was a bad fight, it was just over before you knew it. Shortly into round 1, Albrecht charged at Dyer. He tried to pull a little trick out of Dyer's book, right? I'm just going to charge ahead at him, come in hard, be the bull of the woods, right, Daddy? And Dyer countered with a hard left and knocked Albrecht down. Now, Albrecht did get up and recover at the 8 count, said he was ready. Dyer was waiting on him. And this time, Dyer countered again because Albrecht, why wouldn't you modify your style after you got knocked on your ass the first time? But he does not. He comes charging it again like a bull. And Dyer proves that, hey, I can be a guy who fights from my back foot. I can be a guy who counters, because first time he countered and knocked Albrecht down. The second time he countered and knocked Albrecht flat ass out. It's one of those knockouts where you slide and your head slides under the bottom rope and you wake up wondering how in the hell you got in that position. That's what this was. It was a 46-second massacre. Dyer is on the rise again to come back from 2 no contests. Like I said, would have set a lot of people back. Would have made a lot of people question where they were headed. How could you be so unfortunate? Not Dyer. No way. Josh Dyer is a man. He's a man's man. And he got back up, he got in there, and he knocked out a tough guy like Albrecht in 46 damn seconds. So you know what's next? It's another title shot, baby. And that's what we're going to be talking about. We are up to Josh Dyer's most recent fight in BKFC. He's got a big one coming up against Mundell in November. But until we get there, we have one more to discuss. It is BKFC 74 from May 9th, 2024. Josh Dyer challenges Mike Richmond, who in the meantime had come back and is the BKFC World Light Heavyweight Champion. So his title's on the line. Josh has made his way back. He has gone full circle from a bull of the woods who looked like he couldn't be stopped to a guy who lost a fight that he was maybe overmatched with, and then won a fight, and then 2 fights in a row were no contests, and then won a fight dramatically in the first round, and he's here. He's landed in the championship circle, the squared circle, to face the champion Mike Richmond, who is extremely powerful and can knock anybody out with one strike with ease. Okay. And now remember, Josh Dyer likes to charge. We've come to learn that he has learned how to counter, that he has learned how to pace himself. And what's he going to do here? Is he going to let the excitement over wanting to win a world title, baby, overcome his ring intelligence? He does not. He fights this fight very tactically. He measures a lot. Now, I'm not saying he wasn't active, but he never once charged in at Mike Richmond. Instead, he bided his time, figuring that Richmond, the champion, would get impatient and come at him. Why is this guy who challenges everybody, tries to bowl them over, hanging back from me? Is he that afraid? If he's that afraid, I can go at him. He's fighting scared. That's just my opinion. That's my opinion. It might have been a little bit of rope-a-dope going on here from Josh Dyer. His fighting intelligence is going through the roof. He went from a guy who just came in there and used his will and strength to get shit done to a guy who is calculating and measured. And that's how he fought the champion here. Richmond did well, but it was also, he was a little reserved too. But in the first round, he was somehow busted open by Dyer. I didn't even see it happen. But then a little bit later, we had Richmond complaining that Dyer accidentally poked him in the eye. Dyer said that's true. You know, a lot of times Dyer will put his hand up. You see a lot of guys do that, right? Put a hand up. It's trying to, one thing, it's a timing issue. Another thing, it's a way to block a strike coming at you. But that Josh Dyer does that frequently. And whenever Richmond came at him, that caused his hand to go in his face and scrape down over it and get in his eye. And so it was true. And he got a couple minutes to get over that, but he pretty much only took about 30 seconds and came right back. But immediately after coming back, Dyer countered an attack from Richmond and knocked him down hard. So there's your first knockdown right away. Round 3 saw Dyer being even more measured. I mean, this was normally your Uncle Adam here. He might bitch and complain about a guy being this measured. But I was so fascinated in the difference here of Dyer. I was so interested in seeing what his game plan was that it didn't bother me at all. What he was doing was fighting the opposite way that he ever fights. And never once, even after an eye poke, even after a knockdown, did Dyer charge in. Never once did he use that strategy. Because he knew when he fought Hunt, he used that strategy. He got his ass beat, right? I'm not going to do that again. I'm not going to charge a guy, even though I feel like I might be beating him here. I'm not going to charge him. I'm not going to get worked up. I'm not going to let my emotions or the fact that I know that I'm one of the strongest guys in this company to overtake my fighting intelligence, my ring IQ, right? And he doesn't do that. He stays back and counters, and it keeps working. At this point, he has hit Richmond so hard that he has a mouse the size of my cowboy hat on his eye. I mean, it's just gigantic. It's like, oh God, I hope that doesn't burst all over the first 3 rows. It was a scary looking thing. He also had a big, deep cut down the center of his face going down across his nose. I mean, here we saw Richmond trying to use his strength and power. And I'm not saying he didn't use any intelligence. That's not what I'm saying. But Richmond really thought, this kid is afraid of me. It's what I believe. And I'm going to go at him. And every time he went at him, Dyer countered and hit him even harder. I mean, Dyer got Richmond against the ropes and pounded away through his guard. When a guy's got his guard up, but Richmond was bent over a lot. He was hardly defending himself. It didn't look good. And finally, in that 4th round, the refs stopped him, sent Richmond to see the doctor. He didn't stop the fight. He stopped it. He called a timeout, basically, pulled them apart as they were on the ropes, sent Richmond to the doctor. I mean, you got to see his face. I've got some slides going by here. You'll see it was just unreal. No, not just the mouse. The mouse is disgusting looking, but the giant cut, bleeding all over his eyes, his nose, his mouth. He practically could have drowned in blood. He was bleeding so badly, so badly. The doctor says, nope, we can't continue this. This guy's got to stop. He's got to stop fighting. It is over by doctor stoppage. The winner and new light heavyweight champion, Josh Dyer. What a story. Now that I can commit this to my memory, now that I've gone over it with you and can refer back to it if I need to, now that I can see your comments telling Uncle Adam what's going on, hopefully, and I can become more learned and more understanding of all these fighters and how they work and what they do, and take it with me as they go into other title fights, other big battles like Dyer has against Rendell coming up very shortly in November. Hey, thanks for the suggestion, my Reddit friends. Thank you for subscribing, and let me know what you think of Uncle Adam taking over the broadcast here. I'm not just going to be Mr. Serious Sports Broadcaster anymore. I'm going to talk to you like family. I'm going to talk to you like we're friends, and we're going to have a good time. Hope you had a good time with this video, and I'll see you again with another one before you know it.